with Valentine's Day just right around the corner, we look into the science that goes behind finding love and what it means to protect the heart. Psychologist Richthofen joins us now on The Final Word. Richthofen, great to have you with us. So let's get straight to the point. What does it mean to fall in love?
Wow, that's a very big question, Rico. Actually, when you speak of falling in love, it means that you are now manifesting a collection of emotions that starts with intimacy, affection, similarity, and then you have now the commitment that you have towards that person. Being in love means you are now ready to give yourself in order to be with that person, and you will be more than willing to fight for it to the best of whatever you can.
But how will one really know when they have fallen in love? It could just be puppy love. It could just be a crush.
Yeah, actually, that's a very common knowledge nowadays. When you talk about love, there are three factors that you need to go into. The first one is intimacy, meaning you now get to get the person a little bit deeper than what you used to. So as you now get to the person's capabilities, knowledge, abilities, as you now get to know the person on a deeper level, that's the first step. Second is passion. So if you now feel that physical heat towards the person, when you now feel that whenever your fingertips touch, whenever you embrace, whenever you hug, whenever you kiss, it feels just as light and as right as it could be. And lastly, there is the form of commitment, a continuous promise that you will now stay with that person the longest way that you can.
All right.
So when those three come up, you now have what we call consummate love, and that's the realistic kind of love.
All right. Intimacy, passion, commitment. Okay, which forms basically the foundation of love. But could it just...
Yes, it's called consummate love.
Consummate love. But could it also just be lust?
Oh, definitely, yes. If they're only just look at one factor, okay, they're not added together, they could be shallower versions of just feeling something about the person. And that's a difference, because if you just look at a person passionately, you might even go to the point that you're just looking at the person as an object, then that's not really love. That's just the lustful, animalistic side of being human. So as long as there is no commitment involved, there is no interest of really getting to know that person that deeply, then that's a shallower form of love. However, once those three are now interconnected, that becomes a deeper, more evolving relationship that you can have with your partner.
What kind of psychological effects could falling in love have on a person?
Well, the first thing, of course, is happiness and contentment. You know, there's a chemical called dopamine, which then gives us a reward feeling whenever we feel that we are with the right person. So whenever, let's say, you're holding hands while walking in the park, or maybe you're just snuggling a kiss around the corner with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, that sense of reward is now being reinforced within yourself. So psychologically, you now feel that, yes, this is the right moment, this is the right person, and you now try to seek more of it. That's why you try to commit more into the person. You now try to say, hey, you know what? There's no one that I would like to be with except for you. There's somebody going to be special for me than you. So because of that, there's a feeling of bliss, a feeling of positive emotion, a feeling of regenerative positive energy that the person has.
All right, but it's not all a bed of roses, Richthofen, no? When it comes to love, there's also heartbreaks.
Definitely.
What kind of impact does a heartbreak mean, and how does it impact our mind and our body?
Well, primarily, Rico, it triggers the stress reaction system of the body. Whenever you are feeling that your marriage or your relationship is under attack, so to speak, or it starts to crumble, you now start to get stressed physically and psychologically. So what happens now is that you try to become a little bit more paranoid to what's happening to your relationship. You sometimes even go to being desperate. That's why sometimes you have crimes of passion, for example, for those who are suffering from significant and serious psychological disorders. And at the same time, if there is already a loss in the relationship, you now enter the processes of grieving. So you feel that the loss is imminent. You try to deny it at the start, but unfortunately, it then sinks in. and then you go into anger, you go into bargaining, you go
Oh,
into
wow.
a small and short step of depression until the time goes that you now are ready to accept the fact that the relationship
That is not what we
Now, the
want in
only way-
relationships,
Yeah, go
Richthofen. We don't want breakups. So we have 45
definitely.
seconds to go, Richthofen. What should be the proper mindset to have for an individual when you are falling in or falling out of love?
Okay, for those who are falling in love, good for you that you're falling in love right now. Keep it up. You need to understand that relationships need work. They are not just an end to a goal on itself. Not having your girlfriend or your wife or your husband or your boyfriend is the end to it. It's actually prolonging the relationship that you have with one another. For those of you who are falling out of love, it's very unfortunate. But what you need to understand is that you just haven't met the right person yet. Sometimes you need to accept that there is something wrong with the relationship, something wrong with the dynamics of how you two are. That's why it ended up on a breakup. But that's okay. Take it as a learning experience for you to increase your resilience and allow yourself to be open to new relationships in the future.
Thank you so much for your love advice and for joining us on The Final Word, psychologist Richthofen de Jesus. And you can get more health tips on Med Talk Health Talk, hosted by Dr. Freddy Gomez, with new episodes every Tuesday at 3:30 in the afternoon.